A full-blown humanitarian crisis is unfolding on the southern border. Biden and the Democrats want America to believe that there is nothing dangerous about hundreds of thousands of people pouring across our borders. No verification, no ID.
We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come.
Since then, we've seen what Border Patrol agents have described as the most chaotic months they've ever experienced, bringing the system, and many of them personally, to the breaking point.
Do you believe that right now there's a crisis at the border?
I think that the answer is no. This is a challenge.
There's no question that this is a challenging situation.
The current challenges we're having at the border.
It is a stressful challenge.
No question a difficult challenge.
It's a challenge.
No question a challenging issue.
This is Chrissy Clark with the Daily Wire. I just got back from several days at the border in McAllen, Texas, where we witnessed firsthand the influx of migrants that is overwhelming the area. What we saw there was stunning. Children being ferried over the river by human traffickers on rafts in the dead of night. Migrants, many of them teens and younger, packed together behind metal fences, waiting to be relocated to detention centers. Human traffickers crossing back and forth over the border with relative ease. A border wall left unfinished, open for migrants to easily traverse. We went into this field where we were able to see that there are trenches that migrants have made in order to evade detection from Border Patrol agents. They walk through the trench, which is built directly up to this area where the border wall has not been constructed. Migrants are able to use the trench, go up a ramp, and easily access the incomplete portions. In March, Customs and Border Protection encountered over 172,000 people attempting to come into the United States. It's the largest increase in illegal crossings in 2 decades. Border Patrol agents we spoke with at length told the Daily Wire that the surge in migration began on January 20th, the day that Joe Biden was inaugurated as President of the United States.
What I would do as president is several more things, because things have changed. I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum.
People on the ground at the border confirmed to us that hundreds of immigrants are being stuffed into holding facilities meant for only a few dozen people. Behind me, we have the Donna Migrant Holding Facilities, where young children who pass the border and are apprehended or either turn themselves into Border Patrol agents are being sent. This massive tent city in Donna, Texas, houses thousands upon thousands of migrants. The facility is booming with activity, and plans are in the works to expand the tent city even more. After the Obama-Biden administration's PR disaster in 2014 with the images of kids in cages, DHS had to find a new way to detain migrants. Now, instead of fences, plastic sheets divide the massive groups. The spaces are so tight that immigrants have to take turns sleeping because there isn't enough room for everyone to lie down. For years, Biden and Harris decried Trump's immigration policies and sounded the alarm over kids in cages. Now, they tell us a humanitarian crisis is just a challenge, and thousands of children suffering in jam-packed facilities are not even worth visiting in person.
When we have children in cages crying for their mothers and fathers, don't you dare call that border security. That's a human rights abuse.
And it's got to stop, Ari. It's just got to stop. Full stop. It's got to stop.
I will tell you, when elected, the first thing I'm going to do, one of the first things, is to shut down these private detention facilities. Just shut them down.
This is not the United States of America the vast majority of the world looks to.
It's been nearly 3 months, yet President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris have refused to go see the chaos and suffering their administration's policies are creating.
Do you have plans to visit the border?
Not today.
The Biden administration secretly admits that the crisis at the border is growing worse every day, but they don't want anyone to know what they really think. A recent report revealed the desperate administration even trying to coax federal employees to come help with the challenge at the border in exchange for 4 months paid leave.
When you were talking a moment ago about diplomatic negotiations between the United States and Mexico, you said crisis on the border. Was that a
Challenges on the border.
Okay, but so that doesn't reflect any change in
Nope.
administration's view of things.
Nope.
Okay.
Border agents tell the Daily Wire that these employees, who have no training in border security or immigration processing, would not be helpful. Instead, they request that Biden focus on allowing deportations and expanding the wall. The Mexican cartels that control the border know all about our country's catch and release policy. They divide their customers into two groups. Group 1 includes everyone seeking asylum. Most fall into this camp, whether they have a legitimate claim or not.
Y nosotros venimos por la ayuda, que los brinden la ayuda para quedarlos, para trabajar, para poder lograr una casa que no la tenemos. Y la segunda es la operación de mi hija, que necesitamos la ayuda de ustedes.
Border Patrol agents have to process each one of the thousands and thousands of migrants who claim asylum. While they are busy with their paperwork, their attention is taken away from the second group that includes known criminals, drug runners, and would-be terrorists who need to evade Border Patrol. This creates security gaps that criminals can slip through undetected, as National Border Patrol Council President Brandon Judd explained.
What they're trying to do is they're trying to create gaps in our coverage. So right here, when they cross the unaccompanied juveniles, when they cross the family units, it takes our agents out of the field. We have to respond, we have to take those individuals in custody, we have to take our agents out of the field to take them back to the station's process. And when we do that, we create these gaps. And when you create those gaps, that's when they cross their drugs, that's when they cross the criminal aliens.
Over the course of multiple days at the border, the Daily Wire witnessed several migrants nearly slip past Border Patrol as they were processing hundreds who had already turned themselves in. The banks of the Rio Grande River are littered with hundreds of wristbands. They are given to migrants by coyotes to show that they've handed over enough money to be smuggled across the border. The going price for one ticket to cross? About $9,000. Meanwhile, thousands of children are suffering.
¿Qué pasó?
Es que yo venía con un grupo de personas y me dejaron botar y no sé dónde están.
No sabe dónde.
Nothing to see here. That's the message from the Democrats and the Biden administration. For those of us that have actually been to the border, it's a different story.